East African community stories of migration to the U.S. often have elements of hope for opportunity and a better life for their children. But uprooting and moving to the U.S. has also created complicated bicultural experiences for families that continue on even as the number of second-generation U.S.-born children grow. Family and the respected role of parenting were the most treasured values in the community, but those values have been challenged as the East African community translates into an East African American community. The youth team conducted one-on-one interviews with 4 parents and 3 young people from East African communities about their cultural experiences and stories. In this short documentary, parents and young people candidly share their family stories and intergenerational relationship.
Born, grew up in Ethiopia, so when I came here, I was an adult, formed an adult, so my cultural heritage, my upbringing is a little bit different than my kids. So I have 3 kids and all of them are born and grow up here. So we have a lot in common because they are my kids, they grow up in my house, but also we have a lot of differences because they grow up here, their upbringing, their cultural, the way they think, their value is different than mine. But I know better to understand them instead of saying it's my way or the highway. Means I know what I want for them, but still they are of people of their own. Means I can only guide them on the edges so that they become a good, productive part of the society.
We come from 2 worlds, like we were born back home, and we have back home values, and our kids are born here, and they have this kind of culture. So sometimes it's very hard, for the kids to understand us. Sometimes parenting is a learning thing, we just want to do the way our parents were treating us, but we never give up. We learn, we correct our ways, and then we try to instill the culture and guidance for our kids the best way, bringing the back home values and also the American culture. So this way we can help our kids thrive in their life.
እኔ ቫልዩ ብያስኩት ከኢትዮጵያ ጋር ማገናኘት በቋንቋም አብረው እንዲያወሩ በአስተርጓሚ እንዳይሆን ባህላቸውንም ከዚህ አውቀው እዚህ ያለውን ሳይሆን እዛም ያለውንም ሁለቱንም እንዲያያይዙና ሄደው ደሞዛ እንደ ባይተዋር እንደ ሰው ሀገር ሳይሆኑ የራሳቸውን ባህል ተቀብለው ከህብረተሰቡ ጋር እንዲመሳሰሉ ሶስተኛ ደግሞ የተቸገረም ይሁን ያጣውን ህብረተሰብ ባላቸው አቅም ባላቸው ነገር ሄደው ህብረተሰቡን እንዲጠቅሙ አገሬ ብለው እንዲጎበኙ እንደወጡ እንዳይቀሩ ይሄንን አስተምራቸዋለሁ። እነሱም ሀገራቸውን ይወዳሉ። 2-3ም ሄደው አይተዋል። እኔም እግዚአብሔርን አመሰግናለሁ ሞር ተቀብሎኛል የሚል እንግዲህ እምነት አለኝ ከልጆቼ ላይ።
I think that the foundation came from my parents when they were raising me when I was young, the influence of becoming successful and trying to get an education. But overall life here in America, you have to adapt from that because what they got, like again, they got their values and ideals from the way that they're raised. So it's different here in some aspects. So we were able to feed off that and make your values kind of adjust them so they could fit here.
Because I grew up in Ethiopia too, so we have a very similar upbringing, and I believe that is why we have very similar values and opinions in a lot of things. So yeah, they grew up in Ethiopia, and I grew up in Ethiopia, and it might be it's a different era, so like different years, different experiences, but we still have the same values because we were around the same church, like faith and community. I would say they were more focused on how to be successful and look good. And but for me, I'm more focused on well-being and treating yourself right and basically being happy. That is my priority, and for them, it's a little bit different.
The values and my parents and my values, I cannot say they're not accommodating. They're just slightly different because of the generation gap and stuff like that. But my family values and my values are not that kind of different. They expect me to go to school and get a better job and stuff like that. And then my goal it is to get a better job and then to go to school too. But at times it's just a little bit different because sometimes my parents tend to push on what kind of fields that I have to go to. Sometimes they want me to go to in different kind of fields, like the science fields, like the doctorate fields and stuff like that. But my feelings and my interests were different than that. My interest was going to either business school or IT school pretty much. So it was not that different, but it's just slightly different through generational wise pretty much.
When they were younger, it was one way, my way. But once they are a little bit older, you can't just force them or tell them. You have to listen to what they say or what they want or how they want to do it, things, even the school. So it's a give and take. You discuss. Sometimes I win the argument, sometimes they win the argument. Sometimes nobody wins the argument and you go to different ways. Mm-hmm. So it depends on their age, and every kid is different one from another.
Yeah.
Sometimes easy to communicate and understand to each other, sometimes a little bit hard.
Yeah.
So it's life. You pick the pieces and move on.
Yeah.
You can't just destroy the relationship, even though sometimes I see it's wrong, but I can't force him or force her to do things that even I know is wrong. So you tell what you think. If they accept it, fine. If not,
well, whenever I have, as I told you earlier, I believe even I'm a parent. I have a daughter, and now she's a young adult, having her own kids. So what I instill on her is that whatever she wants to do, just to treat her like an adult. We have understanding, and whenever she have, I always listen to her needs, and then we try to work it out. And then she's a great helper because whenever I have problems, I go to her. Even she's a minor, I used to share everything with her, and she never hides things from me. And what I did was I tried to make her my best friend.
Okay.
So things worked out. Like if we have issues, we just sit down and talk about it.
ልጅ እያሉ ደንቦችና እንትኖች አሉ። ምክንያቱም እናት አባትን አክብር ነው። እናት አባት ይከበራል፣ ትልቅ ሰው ይከበራል። ምንም አለ ምንም ትልቅ ሰው ማክበር አለባቸው። ባይገባቸውና ባይቀበሉትም እንኳን ቆይተው ማነጋገር እንዳለባቸው ይሄን ቤተክርስቲያን ሲሄዱ ለሰው መታዘዝ እንዳለባቸው ይሄን ሁሉ ደንብ ነገር አስተምራቸዋለሁ።
Solving problems is just talking it out and understanding you have both sides' perspective, because most of the problems occur from miscommunication, not knowing what each side says or what they're meaning and what their ideals are behind it. So just knowing that from each side and communicating that with each other, that's the best way to solve the problem, I feel like. And that's how usually my mom and I, we talk it out, or we just talk about what she's trying to say and how what I'm trying to say too is so we could come together and have a combination of both sides.
When I was younger, it's different because you just have to listen to your parents and go along with it, and you can't argue. But now, since I'm an adult, be reasonable and talk to them is mostly what I do. So yeah, that's how we communicate and solve things.
Like I said, because the huge gap in communication that has occurred with me and my family, because some of them language barriers and some of them cultural barriers, and then the huge one is generational gap, because sometimes you be going and talk to your parents and stuff like that, and they don't even know what you're talking about. So pretty much I had a huge challenge through communication, stuff like that. Yeah.
You wish or dream for your kids the best, the most best. Are they going to get there, I don't know. But there are some minimum expectations. Most parents put minimum expectation means kids has to finish school. They have to be respectful. They have to be productive part of the society. Those are the very minimum expectation. You have to respect yourself. You have to be, in order to be healthy, make sure what's wrong, what's right. In order to live in a society, you have to know what's wrong, what's right. Those are minimum expectations.
Okay.
I mean, most people say you have to have bachelor, you have to be a medical doctor. That's just extra.
Yeah.
If they are, that's fine, wonderful. But most parents, they don't put that kind of expectation. But at least you put very minimal expectations, means finish school, be respectful, know what's wrong, what's right. Those are the things that and so that they become healthy, productive part of society when they grow up.